When his son was born deaf, the father felt a storm of emotions, confusion, fear, and quiet heartbreak. The hospital room was filled with celebration, but inside him there was only silence. He forced a smile for his family, yet his mind was racing with questions no one could answer. Would his son ever call him Dad? Would he hear laughter, music, danger, love? The future suddenly felt uncertain and fragile. In the days that followed, the father wrestled with guilt he couldn't explain. He wondered if he had done something wrong, if fate had chosen his child for a harder path. He feared the world would not be kind, a world built on noise, alarms, conversations, and whispered promises. He imagined classrooms where his son might feel isolated, playgrounds where he might struggle to fit in, and moments where frustration might replace joy. More than anything, he feared distance. How would they bond? How would he comfort him during nightmares, guide him through life's lessons, or share simple moments like bedtime stories? The father questioned his own strength. Was he patient enough? Brave enough? Capable enough? Yet beneath the fear was something stronger: love. A fierce, protective love that refused to give up. Though he didn't have all the answers, he made a silent promise. He would learn, adapt, and fight for his son's happiness. If the world was built for sound, then he would build a new world filled with understanding, resilience, and unconditional love. One ordinary day changed everything. It wasn't a grand event or a dramatic breakthrough, just a simple afternoon that began like any other. The father was watching from a distance, still carrying the quiet fears he had buried for years. Then he saw it, his son standing confidently among others, communicating effortlessly through sign language, his hands moving with clarity and purpose. There was no hesitation, no insecurity, only certainty. What struck him even deeper was the way people responded. They listened, they understood, they smiled. His son wasn't struggling to belong. He was leading the conversation in his own way. In that moment, the father realized something profound. His child had never been broken. It was his own perspective that needed healing. Then came the moment that shattered him completely. His son turned, caught his father's eyes, and signed, "I love you." The words weren't spoken, yet they echoed louder than any sound ever could. There was strength in his expression, pride in his posture, and peace in his smile. Tears filled the father's eyes. All the years of worry, guilt, and doubt suddenly felt small. His son hadn't been limited by silence. He had mastered it. He had built confidence, resilience, and a voice that didn't rely on sound. In that instant, the father understood. He hadn't been raising a child who was missing something. He had been raising a child who was extraordinary in ways he had never imagined. That moment transformed the father's perspective forever. As he watched his son move through the world with confidence and grace, he realized that hearing isn't just about sound. It's about connection, understanding, and the ability to truly feel and be felt. For years, he had measured his child against a world built for listening, worried about what was missing, unaware that the richness of life could be experienced in countless ways beyond spoken words. His son wasn't lacking or incomplete. He simply experienced the world differently. The father began to see the beauty in the subtle ways his son expressed himself. A glance that conveyed curiosity, a smile that radiated joy, hands moving with fluidity to communicate thoughts and emotions. He understood that love and connection do not depend on hearing a voice, but on noticing, feeling, and being fully present. Fear that had once consumed him slowly melted into pride. Pride in a child who had taught him more about resilience, courage, and self-expression than he ever imagined. Pride in a bond that didn't require conventional communication to be deep and unbreakable. Acceptance replaced doubt, and the father found a peace he hadn't known was possible. Most importantly, their relationship became something new and powerful. A connection built not on words alone, but on understanding, patience, and mutual respect. They shared moments that transcended language, laughter, gestures, eye contact, and quiet companionship. In those moments, he realized that some of the most profound bonds in life require no spoken words at all. What began as fear had blossomed into love, pride, and admiration. His son had shown him a new way to experience the world, one that was richer, deeper, and infinitely more meaningful than he had ever imagined. Their hearts were now in perfect harmony, and nothing else mattered.